Hey, Wealth Warriors, are you ready to redefine wealth and master your money mindset? Welcome to Season 3 of Women of Wealth podcast. I'm your Gen X host, Hawley Woods Gray.
And I'm your millennial host, Allie, Ramo. Today, we're going to be discussing the insurance industry and why you might want to know more about this misunderstood opportunity. Holly, so you've been talking outside of the podcast about the Peak 65. So let's explain what that is to our listeners.
Yeah, so as we dive into today's podcast, we're really going to be talking about the insurance industry. I know it sounds exciting, right? But what's happening is pretty amazing and very misunderstood. And right now is a huge opportunity for those people that are looking to make a change in possibly their career, their mindset, or in what they do for a living. So right now, as it stands, Peak 65 is the baby boomers are retiring. Many of you know that 12,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every single day, and that is going to continue for the next 10 years, maybe even a little bit longer. However, nearly 40% of today's financial professionals will be retiring in that Peak 65 silver tsunami that we've been talking about. So, right now there's a generation gap, not just for advisors, but also for people who work at companies. They could be in claims or product design or customer service or marketing or leadership. And some of these big agencies like Nationwide or National Life Group or North American, Prudential, I mean, these are all names that you hear and see commercials on New York Life. These are all companies that employ thousands and thousands of people. And, insurance isn't just about the agent, the person who's out there like we do. We have insurance agencies where we have agents that work with us. However, most people don't think of all the employees retiring from those home offices. So in the next few years, this generation gap of advisors and agents are going to really, need some infusion of some new blood. And so that's what the Peak 65 is. And that's what I'm really excited about, because we have a great opportunity to train and bring in some new people and make insurance more fun and exciting. Because I know you're thinking it. My grandpa was pale, male, and stale. And if you think about it, that's probably what your idea of a financial agent or insurance agent looks like. What do you think, Allie?
Yeah, I mean, I think I always joke to people that like my husband and I are in the most like ick types of business. He's a car salesman and I'm a life insurance agent. And so when you meet someone, I always laugh at him because he says he's in sales. When you meet with him or meet him for the first time, he'll say he's in sales. And always people are like, what kind of sales? Eventually he gets to car sales. So like, why don't you just say you're in car sales? But I get it, because if I met someone and I said I'm in life insurance, they're probably going to look away because it's a dirty word for whatever reason. But I think it's just like you said, Holly, it's misunderstood. People don't realize that, like, even life insurance itself, you don't have to die in order to use it. And these things are not being talked about on a regular basis. And so I think the more people do talk about it and unveil that misinformation, or it's not even misinformation, it's just that you don't know, I think people would get more excited about it. And I think like when we're doing this and strategizing about different ways to use retirement savings and life insurance savings, or life insurance cash value, that it does start to get exciting. I don't know, what do you think?
Well, I think that, life insurance has been one of those very slow moving industries for a long time. The pandemic sped us up a little bit because now we can do online meetings. We can take applications online. We can, verify people in a different way than we did before. I mean, real estate and insurance really had to change because they used to be like the tree killing industries because we had so much paper. But now we don't have to use all that paper to give you an insurance policy. I can take an application online. I think that it's gotten a little bit more caught up with the times and technology. And I think the pandemic actually helped us for that, but it hasn't helped us solve this problem of how to get younger more tech savvy individuals into our industry. And so what I'm really excited about is that we do have some ways to do that. You know, the colleges and universities, they predict trends. They do so much research. And I'm working with a couple of universities right now to put some programs in place, because now insurance and risk management is a major that not most, a very few amount of schools right now are really jumping into. And they're figuring out how to make it more exciting, how to make it not so, like I said, not so much like my grandpa's insurance briefcase. You know what I mean? It's like, we really want to show that there's so much opportunity and that it can be exciting, and that there are, there's a lot of misunderstandings and there's a lot of attractive ways to bring people into this sustainable career. I mean, for me personally, being a mom, once you learn the business, you have so much flexibility. There's so many things that I get to do that if I had a 9 to 5, I wouldn't get to do. My son goes to a private school, and last week he had a class at like 9:50 in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, can you come?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I got to go do that. If I had a 9 to 5 job, I wouldn't be able just to take time off in my day and schedule him in there like that. I'd have to, call in sick or something. And I don't really want to teach him about lying already at this age.
Holly, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities like you were talking about with the silver tsunami of newer agents needing to be in the field, but also in the home office. And so there's a lot of support roles to be had. And we're not just talking about life insurance. I mean, auto insurance, home insurance, medical insurance. There's so many different types of available opportunities out there. Sales or distribution is just one of them, but it is really exciting. And like you were talking about, the flexibility is what had me, is because when I first got my license that year, I was getting married. I'm thinking about having a family one day, and having the residual income that we get to experience on the sales side was really appealing to me, that, I could work hard for 3-5 years and then be able to take a step back and not have to worry about, the certain amount of maternity parental leave and then having to come back to work right away, that I could have the flexibility in the future if I wanted to start a family. So again, all different types of opportunities in insurance. And we specialize in the sales part and growing our teams. But there's a vast variety of opportunities out there.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to someone today about all the different things that are available just at our company. I mean, we do have, a lot of people who come in as agency builders. They build a team. They want to build a book of business. But we have, just in our home office, we have contracting. We have our business concierge, which is our processing department. We have high level contact, where somebody who handles problems. And then we have our help desk. We have the technology side. We have our commission side. And we're a pretty small home office. When you look at a big home office, like let's say a National Life Group, they have, in some of these departments, they have hundreds of people, and they do a lot of promoting from within. So if you're more of like a corporate, if you're thinking you want to go more of a corporate way, there's so many opportunities there as well. And because the industry has typically not looked like me or Allie, but look like our grandfathers, there's so much opportunity for women, people of color, and other ethnicities that want to get into this industry, because they're looking to hire people that, look like their clients. And middle America looks like our clients. I mean, we help educators with their retirement, but again, they're looking to hire people that look like their clients. And so with this big change, this 12,000 a day hitting age 65, they probably won't retire right at 65, but that does show a need for additional Medicare agents and Medicare people who work in that industry. Long-term care is going to be another place where insurance is going to be very important going forward. And let me tell you, if you have aging parents, or if you are an aging parent, you want to make sure you have long-term care. I had a situation where I was a power of attorney for a friend of mine, and he got early onset Alzheimer's when he was 62 years old. He passed away at 66, but he ran out of money about a year before he passed away. He ran out of money. And the way the government has it set up, you can't own any real property. You can't have any more investment funds. You can only have a certain amount of Social Security that you get. And in order to go into one of these places that is very substandard, you really don't want your loved ones in this type of place. And so, those are really important areas for us to start thinking about as we age, as our parents age, as the people that we love age. I don't know. I just think that it's such a great industry. It's so funny when people call it boring, because there's never a dull moment around here. We always have something happening. I guess that's because we're on school campuses all the time. I've been in lockdowns. I've been in all types of situations. I've been in traffic for like 45 minutes because the lane they haven't been able to figure out how to get the parents out of the pickup lane. How about you, Allie? What's some of the exciting stuff you've experienced?
Oh my gosh. A tornado warning in Southern California last year.
Okay.
I was leaving a school and all of a sudden my phone started freaking out, like the buzzing warning. And it was like, there's a tornado in your area forming or whatever, please seek shelter. And I was like, what? I had just left a school. And so then I'm like walking to my car and I'm like, well, I'm not about to just drive. And in Southern California, you don't get these warnings. I've told other people from like the Midwest and they're like, oh yeah, that doesn't mean anything. I'm like, I had no idea. And so I went back into the school and I was like, can I hang out here with you guys? And the phones were off the hook of parents like wanting to pull their kids out of school. I don't know how that math makes sense, that you're supposed to seek shelter and all these parents were trying to pull their kids from school.
Let's drive into the tornado.
That is a funny story that was like recent. It was last summer that happened. And I was just, what? How does that make sense? But
we've had all kinds of weather in San Diego recently. I mean, they had a tsunami warning not too long ago.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But I think the stories I love to tell the most are actual like client stories. And Hawley, I know you've got some good ones.
Yeah. So, I think this is also what makes it, this isn't the fun part of the job by any means, but it does give me motivation to really get out there and help people. So one of my stories, her name is Chanel. She became my client when she was just 23. She purchased a life insurance policy from me. And if you don't know anything about living benefits life insurance, she didn't. She did not know anything about it. And over the years, her and her husband, they both bought policies from me. They were actually one of my client's son and his soon-to-be wife. They called me several times, I will say at least 7, to cancel their policy. And each time I re-enrolled them into the benefits that this policy had and why they needed to keep it. I think they were doing like a $200 or $250 a month, and why it mattered for them to keep this as a young couple. And then you fast forward to 2022, Chanel faced a life-threatening illness and a stroke. Her husband called me desperately asking if their policy had living benefits. He remembered me talking about it, but he didn't know exactly what it would cover. And fortunately, she had $320,000 worth of coverage and was offered a 90% claim. The claim that came back offered them 90% of her face value and the money she had accumulated. This money gave them choices. It gave her dignity. She had breathing room in this crisis. And it really was a powerful reminder of what life insurance is now. It is not death insurance anymore. It's something you don't have to die to use.
Yeah. Huge. And I was, you were talking about your friend having Alzheimer's, and someone recently was telling me, she had a financial planner who her and her husband were working with. And I want to say she's in her 50s now. And her financial planner told her, you're so worried and concerned about paying for your kids' college. How did you pay for college? And she was like, I paid it. I paid for it. My husband paid for his. Okay. And it's paid off. Yep. Like we made our payments. Like it is that's what we did. Okay, great. If you get some sudden illness, like huge needs in retirement, like how are you going to pay for that if this whole time you've been worried about paying for your kids' college? And basically their explanation was, why don't you put on your face mask, how they say in airplanes, cover your mouth first and then help your kids. It was the same kind of thing of, okay, well, why don't we get your retirement, your life insurance, your needs met? Because do you really want your kids to take care of you in old age when they're trying to have families, they're trying to have a house? Like, yes, college is important, and I'm not saying it's not here. However, you really need to make sure that you're taken care of in your future, and that is a blessing to your kids. And college will figure itself out, because a lot of people are not even going to college nowadays. You don't have to. There's so many things available. There's so many career paths, job opportunities, businesses that need to be built, that you don't need a college education. And that was really interesting to me of hearing that. And so she was ecstatic to have me. She was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was so behind, but now I really focus on my needs and my future that, I actually feel pretty comfortable with it now. And so I think sometimes we need to like simplify goals for people and protection. And so you were talking about your friend's Alzheimer's. And so now she knows she's covered, that if she has some type of illness in retirement, that, she's saved the money. She started the different policies. She'll have coverage in retirement.
I think it's so important that I think the biggest difference now with life insurance companies and the bad publicity that we got before, kind of like car salesmen, like car salesman is totally different now too. They don't have to negotiate anymore. I mean, they probably do still, but it's like you see a car online, that you're driving to that car dealership to go drive it. You drive it, what the price is online. Maybe there's a little negotiation room, but there's not much. And you pay the price that you saw online for the most part. Same thing with health insurance, life insurance, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it is unfortunate that our health insurance system is set up to increase every year. And that's a whole thing. We'll talk about it more later. However, I do believe that the education piece in insurance now is so important. I think before, a lot of the agents, a lot of the producers, a lot of the advisors would just push people into products because that's all that was available. But now there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of choices, and there's a lot of education. And now with the internet, with YouTube, with podcasts, with all that, you can get educated on the type of products that fit you best. I mean, my real reason why I'm passionate about selling life insurance and making sure people are protected is because when my dad died, when I was 21 and my mom was 46, he did not have life insurance coverage. She had multiple sclerosis. She'd been in a wheelchair since I was 14. He died when I was 21. So for 7 years, she was in a wheelchair. And when he died, she had 3 weeks. Yep, 3 weeks to move out of her apartment that they were renting. Pack everything up, figure out where she was going to go. She lived in Bakersfield. Her home, her father lived in Chula Vista, which is about 300 miles away, and she couldn't drive anymore. So she had to figure all that out on her own without any money. Plus she was mourning my dad, who did everything for her. He was her primary caregiver. So, I mean, for me, life insurance is like such a no-brainer. If they would have just had a little bit of coverage, she wouldn't have had to been so frantic, but those are the memories for me that has solidified like why I believe everybody needs life insurance. They need to make sure that they're covered because you never know. I mean, my client that we were just talking about, she's 34 years old. She's probably 33 or 32 years old when she had all those health issues a couple years ago. And I mean, that is a super young age. And most people don't get life insurance when they're that young, so the fact that she did, and she kept, seeing a good enough reason to keep it in place, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that really inspires me, and it makes it not about being boring. I mean, I think we were talking, Allie, what do people have insurance on? Like they have car insurance, right? You have to.
Phone insurance.
Yeah. More people have phone insurance than have life insurance.
And your phone is replaceable at what you can get a phone if you really are desperate to get one. You can get one for like
you can get it for free. Like just go to a new provider. You might have to change the phone number, but you can get it for free. But trust me, when someone dies, you can't get it for free. You can't get that income back. You don't get their income. You don't get whatever other responsibilities they have in your house back. You have to replace all of those. And it's really nice to be able to replace it with some money in your pocket so you don't have to move like my mom did in 3 weeks. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the fun stuff about insurance. Well, actually, let me tell you one more story, because I have this client and I just love her. Her name is Lynn. And when I met Lynn, she'd already been working for 35 years in the district. I knew her already because she was a coach and a teacher in the district where I grew up in. And so I knew her. And I met her when she was 65, and she thought she could never retire. She believed that she would be working until the day she died. We did a pension review. This is one of those appointments that I got, Allie, that was from one of our online preset appointments, through our email system. And this was a long time ago, so it wasn't even as good as the system is that we use now. But she just knew she needed some answers. And so she set up the appointment with me. I reviewed her pension. We looked at her Social Security. We actually discovered she could retire that year with a little bit more than she was making in her salary.
Wow.
Right? She didn't have any life insurance. She didn't have any supplemental savings. She had nothing that I could help her with other than giving her that, financial information and education. But the impact, I mean, for decades, she'd been a teacher changing other people's life, and she thought she couldn't retire. So here, a 30-minute appointment with her, she learned she could retire. She could have some peace and dignity after a lifetime of giving to others. And so, some of my clients I haven't made any money off of, but for me, those are the people who I want to help the most, because they're my best referrers. And also, it's such a great feeling to help someone who doesn't think they can do something and do it within the next 3 or 4 months. I mean, that is priceless for me. So,
yeah, I think, and I think this industry has a lot more heart than people think. And I mean, yeah, a lot of people do this, and there are agents out there just chasing for sales. But I think a lot of like successful people, you can feel it that your agent actually cares about you. And they're here for a long time, is that they actually truly care about their clients. And it's really about protecting people, giving them the dignity of a financial peace in their future and financial freedom, that they can retire on their terms, and that they don't have to worry about illnesses or sicknesses and things like that. I think the industry is more full of heart than most people think of life insurance or insurance agents in general. Well, Hawley, let's get this a little more fun.
Okay, let's bring it around.
Speaking of fun, Hawley, you've been in this industry for almost 15 years. What kind of fun things have you done being a life insurance agent?
Well, one of the things I always talk about, or people look at my social media and they're like, "You're on another trip?" Yes, I'm on so many trips that, guess what? I don't even have to pay for, because either the company I work with, Appreciation Financial, or one of the carriers that I work with have these fabulous trips. So some of the places that I've been to, Cabo San Lucas, and I'm talking about like nice all-inclusive resorts where you don't have to worry about, how much money you bring to spend, because all your food and drinks are included. And that's a big deal when you're on these trips too, because, we have a motto like work hard, play hard. So, all inclusive is a good thing. We've been to Hawaii a couple times, not only to Maui, but also to Kauai. We've been to Spain. We had our President Circle in Madrid, and then we had our 100K trip on the Canary Islands. We've been to the Bahamas, to Bermuda. I didn't even know where Bermuda was before I went there, but it's right off the East Coast. It's this little island. It's super cool. And we've been all over the Caribbean on cruises. We have definitely had some fun. We definitely have that motto of work hard, play hard is definitely something that we do. We do it not just when we're on trips, but also when we're together for like our national convention. One of the things that I love to do is whenever we have a trip, I have, somewhere between 15 to 35 people qualify for these trips. And then we go do fun things like we swam with the dolphins before, we've been ziplining. We went to a great dinner this year that was off property when we were in Maui, and we just got to hang out and go to this brewery and find out more about some of the local culture in Maui. So we always do something fun as a team. We've done axe throwing, bowling. We're going to do a pickleball tournament this year. So there's always something fun and exciting happening, even though sometimes the content might be a little bit more dry. Everything else around it is fun. And since we are a life insurance company, we always have we ask everybody to, never sell from an empty cart. So we ask people to get their life insurance on themselves so they can go do all this fun and incredible stuff that we have, like jumping off cliffs and stuff like that, and not worry, if something happens, you're protected. So you're good.
Love it.
Yeah. Except for as a mom now, I'm not quite the daredevil that I was before I had Jackson. I used to scuba dive, snorkel everywhere, jump off cliffs, do all that. Now I'm like, how high is that? How deep can I go without having to undo my ears? Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can break a leg. How long is that recovery? No, thank you.
No, thank you. I don't want to do that.
Well, I love that we have so much fun together, and I love that we're a team. You're doing this. We always say you're growing a business for yourself, but not by yourself. There's always friendly, fun competition within our different offices. We've gotten national offices. So we've got San Diego's a big office. We have Texas is one of our big offices. We got people out of Florida. So we have everyone all over the place, and it's always fun to have some friendly competition in our chats. And so I don't think it's a boring industry, and actually I find it I think we're providing a service for an underserved community like our school employees, and then it's fun that we've got some friendly competitions and trips and things like that as a company. So if you're interested in what we do, we would love to talk to you. You can reach out to us at on Instagram or YouTube, Wow Women of Wealth. You can send us a message, but also if you have any questions about our industry specifically, or if you've heard from another podcast, you've got questions about strategies we've talked about or want to hear more strategies, reach out to us and let us know, because we would love to add some different topics for the needs or questions that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing that I want to say is I'm really excited about this program that I'm getting ready to launch. So all I'm going to say is stay tuned to a campus near you. If you have a university near you, I may be coming to a town near you soon. I'm starting at UNLV, which is here in Las Vegas, where I live now. And that's going to be on September 10th. And then we're going to be doing something in San Diego at the end of October. So check out our social media, come visit us. Even if you're not a student on that campus, but you want to come find out more, they'll let you come in and go to the career fair, just sign up. And we're going to be sharing more about that as we continue to develop these programs. But, don't rule out life insurance. It may just be the love letter to your family and to your future family and to your current family that you need. Thanks for tuning in.